Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Christy here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of July 18th to the 25th, and it is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you don't know your Moon and Rising sign, Scorpio, there is a link in the description box to learn your whole chart, and that way if you want additional information for the week, you can look at your Moon and Rising sign on top of your Sun sign reading today. So you'll notice I have 3 of my decks sort of in a row here. I am going to be switching things up a little bit. I was inspired to do a mind, body, soul reading for all the signs this week. And depending on the feedback, I could continue this on a regular basis, maybe every other reading, instead of just a general reading using one deck. So I'll be pulling 2 cards from each deck. So in total, it'll be 6 cards. And one column will be general energy around what do you need to know or what needs to be affirmed for you. And then the other column will be general energy for the week regarding the overall view for mind, body, and soul. So let's begin and see how it works out for you. What does Scorpio need to know with regard to the mind? Okay. And then as always, I'll be pulling the bottom card of each deck as the general energy. So Scorpio, I'm going to continue, get all the cards out, and then I'm going to put the cards up to the camera for you one by one in just 1 second. So we're looking at what does Scorpio need to know with regard to the body. Okay. And then we'll be asking, what does Scorpio need to know with regard to the spirit? Excuse me. That was a big chunk. I'm just going to keep shuffling for a second. What does Scorpio need to know with regard to the body? There's another clump. I'm going to shuffle for about another 15 or 20 seconds. If we don't get one single jumper, I'll pull from the center of the deck. So what does Scorpio need to know with regard to the spirit? Okay. Cool. And then bottom of the deck. Here we go. So Scorpio, so far in your mind column, we have the card Imagine, and then this is information you may, you need to know that you didn't think was available to you, or it is an affirmation about what you know is available to you and to keep going in this direction. It's the card Imagine, and then general energy for the Imagine card for the mind this week is To Be Fair. So generally what this is saying in terms of what you need to know or keep on this path if you're already here is that there is a great deal of will that needs to be applied here once this phase is done. Imagination is one portion of the culmination phase, but you are doing a great deal of work in this regard in the mind. And if that's what you're currently going through, keep doing it. This is the process of actually building anything in the material world. So if you are here, then you are in process of building something greater and better for yourself. So please don't give up this imagination process. This is where all the magic is. And it's also a beautiful place to design exactly what kind of life for yourself. This is really all about you. You're not really looking at others for information right now. This is what's going on inside your own mind. And the overall energy for the mind for the week is to be fair. So there's some major symbology here. We have, of course, the scales. So there could be a Libran influence this week, or it could be having something to do with a balance or fairness this week. We have a very ornate crown. You could be feeling at the top of your game, or you could be feeling like you're struggling to get at the top of your game alternately. And then with the barn owl at the top, there's a great deal of psychic energy here, and a mask is off, or you're being asked to take a mask off. With regard to the mind, this could just simply be something as saying, what do you want? This one or this one? Whatever that one, right, quote unquote, is for you. And I want to note what is on the scales themselves. There's a fortune cookie with the word nope, and then there's a huge pearl on the other one. So you're imagining where you want to go. You're very severe about this. This is a definitive process for you. What could be holding you up, or what could be slowing things down in terms of manifestation, it's saying here is picking one is where this imagination process needs to go next, to be fair, right? And Libran qualities, for example, if it's not about being fair or balance in particular for the mind, is about love energy, it's male energy. It is the sign of the scales, so great deal of fairness is going on with regard to the imagination. Okay, I don't mean to over talk about that, but I do think a decision needs to be made here about which way to take the imagination process. Okay, and then in the body column, in terms of what you need to know or keep running with, if it's an affirmation, is the crow. And its keyword is the law. So what is the law with regard to your body? It could be something as simple as you can't possibly expect to feel well if you're not taking care of your body. That's just the law of averages. That's the law of being a biological being in the world, right? So just being aware of the body, being aware of processes as you're putting it through, and if it's fair. If it's fair in terms of attaining what you really want. I'm going to be looking at this card closely in just one moment, but I do want to draw attention to the fact that not only is this a Libran card or something having to do with balance, but we have here also the dividing line between reality and reflection, up and down, inner world, outer world. Okay, so there are a lot of what we would call polarities here. There seems to be a polar issue for you here, even with regard to your body. Where do you belong? It seems like you could simply be asking yourself, where do you belong? You're imagining this beautiful place for yourself, but something is holding it up. Something is tripping it up because it's not clear somehow. And the reason I say that is because we have the rabbit next to the crow, which, like I said, is the law. And this is general energy for the body, and its key word is fear. And that's why I can read these as something that's tripping you up, because there's a decent amount of fear involved with how you are applying your body within this scene of the mind. I think you have a lot of beautiful ideas that you're, for one reason or another, afraid of bringing into the light. And this is something that you're being asked to get to the bottom of this week, Scorpio, especially if you want to get out of what's going to feel like a bit of a teeter-totter or like a hamster wheel, a situation where there's anything having to do with scales, like up and down, or constantly trying to balance something out. Perhaps in the imagination phase up here in the mind, you could focus on a better way to acknowledge or examine this issue for yourself. And then in the soul column, we have romance. Libra just had this as well. So you could be dealing with an actual Libra. You could have a moon or rising in Libra, for example. And if that's the case, you're double whammied here. There's a great deal of romantic energy available to you, or you could be projecting romantic energy into the world. I think there is a slight caution here with regard to the first four cards, the mind and body, especially with regard to romance in the soul, because you could be looking at something very deep or needing something very deep and not sure how to carry through with that. And that's going to piss everybody off. So if you're unavailable to someone, or you're teeter-tottering, or you're hot and cold, that type of thing, I would let this, be honest with the person, obviously, and yourself, and just say, um, let's not get heavy right now. Let's little bit by little bit, or just be honest with what's going on in your mind right now and about you being in the middle of something or unsure how to proceed, etc. Rather than getting wrapped up in something that could end badly, particularly because we have some like a soul romance here. This is a spirit romance. On the other hand, if nothing like this is happening or available to you, this could externally, this could be about you developing romance within your own life, becoming your own best friend, becoming your own lover. Um, in with regard to, you know, what pleases you, what delights you, learning about yourself, learning about what makes you feel good in a romantic sense. And that way, once you determine that, you can learn to expect that. And anything that doesn't match what you have decided for yourself is, you know, romantic and loving, isn't going to match that vibration, and you'll be able to turn it away much easier. And then for general energy with regard to the spirit and this romance next to you, you could be calling upon an earth angel or a guardian angel, even an archangel, Mother Mary or Jesus himself, for help with this issue. In fact, anytime these cards come up, whether it's Archangel Michael or Guardian Angel or the healing card, anytime that there's a card from this deck, particularly where there's an assistance or even the support card, it's looking at a situation where you could simply need to just reach out. Not in solving the problem, but in at least venting, getting your thoughts clear, deciding one way or the other, getting feedback in order for you to feel like you can process something better. Not more information, but in terms of feedback about what you're saying, okay? And then even if it's about expressing fears to someone that you trust, and getting that off your system so you can concentrate on something larger. It's really just asking that you reach out and ask for help this week. There's absolutely no harm in doing this, and it really does help remove a great deal of the burden here. Perhaps if there is a loss here, Scorpio, you could be needing extra affection, extra care, um, extra company, and this type of thing. So if that's the issue here and there's a loss in a soulmate or a romantic situation, you could feel quite down. Please reach out and ask for help. Do not suffer in silence if possible. But hopefully it's something that's extremely positive and coming into your life, or you're able to project this and raise people's vibrations around you to connect to someone who's spiritually suited for you. Okay, and then like I promised, I'll be reading from top to bottom the first row in terms of general messages that you may need to know or are already moving through that need to be affirmed, and then the second row for general energy for the week. So we have imagine, the law, and romance. This is actually really beautiful because I do believe that this is what you're teeter-tottering between. What, in a general sense, what does it mean to have a legal arrangement? What does it mean to have that soulmate condition? What does it mean to be that, you know, the significant other? Whatever that means in a relationship setting for you this week, Scorpio. This is going to be heavily on your mind, but you are thinking not only in terms of where you belong in it, but where they belong, the law of averages, the law of attraction, the law of give and take. All of these heavy universal laws are in order here. So please don't look past them and don't try to trick them. Sort of, you know, go with the flow, but be really as clear as possible as you can about what you truly desire, what you're willing to give for it, and what you're willing to give up for it. But also in just as importantly, your boundaries. Okay, like really determine what your strong boundaries are. And here for general energy, we have to be fair, the fear card, and guardian angel. It just feels as though you need a ginormous amount of support this week. Listen, if you can give it to yourself, or if it's only like an hour that you need to vent, whatever that means for you this week, Scorpio, please do this for yourself, right? Like get out of your own head if possible. If it's cramped in there, or if you're feeling like you're spinning your wheels, and ask for help with someone you trust. Look at the balance of the situation and examine a fear here with regard to changes, the law, polarities, past and future, this type of thing. So anytime there's polarities here, engage with the fear and express courage in the situation. That could be what's going on here too. It could be a call to express courage in a love affair. So Scorpio, that concludes your reading. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you have a second, let me know how it looked for you this week. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe because I upload videos for your sign every single week. Until we meet next time, Scorpio, take good care. Bye for now.